Today's book. How many, how much, measuring. Looks like they're about to make some food. And also, we're going to read the back side of this too. I'll show it to you first. Okay, it says, laugh and learn with the Frimbles. Meet Mr. and Mrs. Frimbles, Charles, Anna, and Anna's invisible friend. Dee Dee, they're here to make kids laugh and to teach them important skills that will help them master math, language, and many other basic concepts. Fribble's family first learning adventures are the best possible combination of entertainment and education. What a great reason to let a child become friends with the Fribbles. So the Fribbles is their last name. Okay, let's get into the book. Okay, so here's the Fribbles family, as you can see. Charles and Anna Fribbles were getting ready to bake some brownies. Aunt Lily will be so surprised to get them. Anna said, let's try to get them done before the post office closes, said Mrs. Fribbles. You see they're in the kitchen making stuff. Okay, and here they are. They're still making cakes and everything and more. Anna got the sugar and flour from the cabinets. Charles got the chocolate, butter, and eggs. Miss Fribbles took out the measuring cups and spoons. We need a half cup of flour and a cup of sugar. Mrs. Fribbles said, why don't you measure them out, Anna? Anna picked up the measuring cup and went to work. Seems there's a little critter inside the house. Mr. Fox is a little scared. Okay, notice she's still pouring stuff and she's still measuring. We also need a tablespoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of vanilla. Miss Fribbles added, Charles, you can measure them. Okay, look, she's measuring. Pay attention. Okay, look, she's stirring the mixture now. You see the kids are watching. Mrs. Fribbles added the chocolate, butter, and eggs and mixed everything together. Then the children poured the batter into the baking pan. You see the children and you see they're excited to bake with her. Okay, now they're looking at the clock. So I'm assuming they put it in the oven right here. That's her pointing to the clock to let them know, you don't want the brownies to burn up. So you got to do things by the book. So now we have to measure the time for baking the brownies. Mrs. Fribbles said, should we use the cup or the tablespoon to measure? Charles asked, don't be silly, said Anna. You use a clock to count the minutes and hours. We don't want to take the brownies out of the oven too early or they'll be too soft. Miss Fribbles said, and we don't want them to stay in the oven too long or they'll burn. We have to take them out 20 minutes from now. And that's why, again, she's pointing to the clock. You got to take it out on time. Okay, now there she is placing the brownies in the oven. And then you see the kid pointing at the clock because they know you got to take the brownies out in 20 minutes so they don't burn. So the children watched the hands on the clock move. When 20 minutes had gone by, Anna said, it's time to take the brownies out. Miss Fribbles lifted the pan. You see the pan? You measured the time just right, she said. The brownies are perfectly done. And if the brownies are perfectly done, you know they're going to be yummy too, most importantly. Look, they're cutting the brownies, but before you do all that, you want to make sure they cool off so you don't burn yourself. While the brownies cooled, Miss Fribbles found a box for the brownies. And Anne and Charles cut up the brownies and carefully placed them in a box. You see, they're cutting the brownies. And then this is the box they placed them in. Okay, Miss Fribbles wrapped the box in brown paper. I think we need a yard or so of string to tie up the package, she said. Please measure the string for me. You see she's got the string right there, and she's asking for some help from them. I'll watch the clock, said Charles. Don't be silly, Charles, said Anna. You need to rule a ruler to measure the length. They're all talking among each other because, you got to work together to let everything go as planned. So now they have a ruler out in this picture. Anna got a ruler which was marked into 12 inches. 12 inches is a foot, Miss Fribbles said. A yard is 3 feet. I've got 2 feet right here, Charles said, looking down. Notice he's looking down. Anna rolled her eyes. You see her eyes rolling? She rolled them up. Never mind, Charles. You pull the string, I'll measure, she said. They're still working together. Okay, now look. Here they are. 1 foot, 2 foot, counted Charles as Anna moved the ruler along the string. Then he cut the piece off. You see that? Mrs. Fribbles tied the string around the package. Now let's mail it off to Aunt Lily. That's the package they're going to use to mail it off to Aunt Lily. Okay, now look. It looks like they're at the post office and they look very happy. But you got to weigh the package. They can't be too heavy. And the 3 Fribbles arrived at the post office. The clerk behind the counter reached for the package. I have to measure how much it weighs, he said. If we had brought the ruler, we could do that, Charles said. Anna put her hands on her lips. Oh, Charles, you don't want to use a ruler to measure weight, she said. You use a ruler to see how many pounds and ounces it weighs. 3 pounds and 7 ounces, the clerk said. Then he told Mrs. Fribbles how much the box would cost to mail. See, they're weighing it because if it's too heavy, it's going to be very expensive. Okay, they look very happy in this picture. Look at the picture. Very happy. I bet Aunt Lily will be happy when she receives the brownie. And I can measure just how much, Charles, and how much is that, they asked. This much, Charles said, and he spread his arms way open. Well, I hope she enjoys the brownies. And the end. Please like, share, and subscribe.